Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. Anya here, Yogi Parenting Coach. Today we're going to talk about listening. A big parenting struggle, right? Nobody's listening. I have to shout before anyone listens. Nobody does what I say. Can you relate? So in learning to help our children listen, we always, if you do anything with me, it's always starting with ourselves, right? Checking in with our own listening skills first. How great a listener are you? Now, as women, I can talk for myself, we're great at multitasking. So perhaps we're half listening. Perhaps we're kind of already assumed we've know what they need, what they want, and so we're only a piece of us tuning in to that, right? Can we try first to see when is it that we are fully listening, looking in the eyes, stopping what we're doing, putting our phone down, and really connecting when they're talking to us, our children, partners, whatever we want to work on with our listening, right? And the other part around it is, how do you feel when no one's listening to you? When you really are fed up, you're tired, you feel like you've tried different ways of saying things and no one is still listening, right? You're sort of on a hamster wheel of no one's listening, right? And how do you feel about that? Where do you feel that in your body? So my technique that I always use, right, is stop, get still, tune in, observe, be present, right? So try those 4 steps first, and really notice, what is it when someone's not listening to you? What does that bring up for you? How does it make you feel? Right? I'm not going to answer those for you. Those are sort of self-reflecting questions for you. So we're going to start first the listening parts there, right? How good a listener are we, and how does it make us feel when somebody's not listening to us, right? When we're not being heard. Okay? And when we notice what that feels in our body, that's generally the approach of how we how we're talking to somebody, right? How we want them to listen is from that energy. So I'm suggesting, if you stop those 4 steps, stillness, tune in, observe, be present, what you'll be able to do from present place, right here, right now, is speak in a way that others will listen. Use other techniques in a way that your children will know when it's time to listen, when it doesn't really matter, when you're talking and sharing and it's not so important, you just wanted to say something, right? They get to adjust all themselves for those things. Okay, now here's another part to this. We often use too many words. We use so many words that children have switched off, like 3rd or 4th word in, they've already switched off, right? If we also are telling them or talking to them, suggesting to them, or meaning that they need to, right, different steps, what tone of voice do we use? Right? If we're always just barking orders and always saying, you never listen, or you have to do this, or I told you already, brush your teeth, go put your pajamas on, wash your hands, put the lunchbox away, sit down and do your homework, right? And we're always in a different pitch of our voice as we're saying those things. We're easy to be tuned out. Okay? Another point to think about is, when you are wanting your children to listen to you, are you even in the same room as them when you speak? Are you even up close to them when you speak? Are you getting eye contact from them when you speak, right? And I know that takes extra effort, because they're upstairs and you want to just shout, you're tired, it's the end of the day, and you're like, you know the steps every single night. We do these steps to get to bed, right? But what happens is, we are not aware of where their mind is at that time. They're not feeling the urgency of this. They're not necessarily even aware. They don't really care. Like, so I get my pajamas on and brush my teeth and go to bed. That's not a place they're hoping to go to, right? Or school, coming out the door. Even if they love school, love going to sleep. We're not saying that, but I'm just saying the urgency isn't there. They're not on a time constraint in their head. What if they're thinking about something? What if they're in their imaginary world? What if they are playing something, drawing with something, listening to something, on a game of some sort, right? we can't expect them to really hear us. And it's not fair on us to assume that they are just waiting for their next command, right? And should be, the minute mummy speaks, jump in and be wide-eyed and listen, right? It doesn't work like that. And obviously in parenting differently, we're doing it in a different format. So we're not doing top-down parenting. We're not doing I am the boss, I have the power. We want to sort of work together. So this video is not about how we get them to do things. That'll be another time. This is about how do we get them to listen. And how do we do things differently so that they will, right? So we want to get there and be in eye contact. Another option is when you're telling them, you keep it really short, really small, right? Teeth. You're going to brush your teeth. And some kids can handle maybe 2-3 steps. And some kids, they just can't. So it's like, I want you to, brush your teeth, come back to me for the next bit. Wash your hands, come back to me for the next bit. And so you can help them learn the steps in a way that they only need maybe a one-word reminder in the end. Teeth, right? That kind of thing. Another concept, depending on the age of your child, is that you're actually using them saying, okay, I am feeling I'm not being listened to. How can I help you listen? How can I encourage you to listen to me when I'm saying this is it? Because so often we talk a lot and we start to say, when you brush your teeth and then with this and then we can go to the story and you want to get a good night's sleep because you've got to get up in the morning for this, or when we don't want to be late for school because of blah, 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 blah. And we just, all these words. Whereas what we really want them to do is listen the first time we say it. And many times the first time we say it, we're kind of almost saying it in a tone that's a suggestion, right? We're kind of saying it in a way that they sort of go, oh, I'm not sure if they spoke, and carry on, right? We want them to be able to know when, based on our voice tone, we're like, now is the time. This needs to get done, okay? You can have them repeat it back to you, right? With eye contact. Be there, be with them. I need you to listen. What am I asking you to do? Bum, ba, dum, bum, ba, bum, right? Have them repeat it back to you. Right? You can use timers to set a timer to say we have 10 minutes and then we're going to get in bed and read 2 great stories, right? We want to encourage that listening, but the listening doesn't happen from over there. Like you can, and there's games now that you can start to play, right? We want to be able to inspire them, teach them, train them to learn to listen better. And we can do with a lot of that ourselves. We're not great listeners. We're not listening to the whole child. We're just pieces of it. Right? And sometimes it's boring. They'll imagine a lot of our stuff is boring to them too, right? Based on what they're saying. So there's that great Simon Says game, right? And you can alter your tone as you do it. Maybe when you're in the room with them and you really want them to listen, it's time to tidy up and they're so in a play. You start really quiet. You start to whisper, right? And so often they'll be like, oh, what's going on? What's she talking about, right? The whisper game, the telephone game, you whisper a word and then pass it around between you to see who heard it. Whisper and draw. You can do, what other games are good for this? There's a way of sort of, even for them, have them go through these instructions. Maybe there's a 5-piece that needs happening and you make it really fun. And you have them listen. They only get to do it when you listen, when you say go or whatever. There's that stop and go, right? You can play that. Every time I say stop, you need to stop. Every time I say go, you need to go. We work with that outside a lot, depending on your house. It could still be in the house. And they have to really tune in, right? We want them to lean in and listen to what we have to say. So we need their full attention for that. Okay. So much love to you. All the best. Please reach out if you'd like some more support, some more help in my coaching packages, in my yoga and parenting packages, my SOS, Save Your Sanity. We can help on a call and really work through a particular situation that you're dealing with. Take care.